Hello, welcome back to One to the Force, a Star Wars podcast. My name's Phil, of course, and I'm joined as usual by Dave, and this time, not absent, we actually have George. He'll be with us in a few minutes, but hello, good evening, Dave.
Good evening, my friend in the Force. How you doing?
I'm pretty damn well, pretty damn well. Unfortunately, we've got a fairly slow news week, so this will be a quick show, but, however, we're all here for once, which makes a change. So when George is finished with whatever he's doing, his stuff, yeah, we'll have him back on. However, we might as well crack it. It's going to be a slow news week. We've got a short show. Unfortunately, the guys are on the data. It's going to be a bit of a quick one. So for those of you on the video, hello, welcome for joining us. And those of you who are on the audio afterwards, George is here. He will just be here in a moment. We'll actually skip some of the news and put up the very breaking news, the fact that the autographs for Star Wars Celebration have now just gone live. In fact, George was sorting his out just then, because he is our roaming reporter for
Hello there.
Celebration. He is here.
I am well. How is everybody?
We are good.
Great, my friend. Nice to have you along.
It is nice to be back. And for anyone watching, where's this guy been for a couple of months? Or who is this guy? You're not going to ever see this background again. As of 2 days' time, I move home. Fingers crossed I'm around a little bit more. But no, I'm moving back. I can't wait. I haven't done a video since, Christmas with you guys?
Yes, we did the 2019 looking forward video, yeah.
And boy, is 2019 getting started.
It is indeed. We're just reporting on the fact the Celebration autographs have just gone live. I know you yourself have just finished getting some purchases.
I've just bought my first two, Tamara Morrison and Ian McDermott, both on the Episode 3 poster, both autographs booked in. I actually really like the fact that you can buy your autographs online because, A, it saves you a lot of queue times, and B, I'm going to say be disappointed of waiting for people, but the hard thing is going to be when people go on sale and you want to buy a computer, if it's someone rare, that's where it's going to cause issues.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed.
At least you've got two really decent ones as well to continue on with your poster collection. Which
yeah, I mean, the Emperor's cool, but Tamara Morrison doesn't really do cons, so that's a pretty damn decent one.
I've only ever seen him sign at Star Wars Celebration in 2017. I've never seen him sign anywhere else, conventions or anything. I bet he'd be. I mean, I love New Zealand. I love New Zealanders, so he'd be really cool to meet. And I feel that obviously him on the poster, yeah, he's Jango Fett, and Jango Fett's obviously got no head in this point in this series. And at the Episode 3 poster,
but he is every clone.
He's every clone in that film, exactly. He's probably got the most. He's probably played the most characters in Star Wars history, even more than Warwick Davis. Especially when they each get names their own little number. No, I can't wait to get him, and to get McDermott, after getting Sam Jackson, you know, I'm gonna be that guy and ask him to quote "I am the Senate," but I'm gonna be that one guy that actually has a reason for it. I said, listen, I'm only asking this, Ian, because Sam Jackson signed just above you. And nice. I think even he will be like, you know what, do it.
It'll have to be done.
And I can't wait. I'm so excited. We're 2 months today. Actually, that's strange. 2 months today, the 13th of April. That is when my autograph session is booked, Saturday the 13th. Wow. 2 months' time, we might have already had a Star Wars trailer. It's a good time to be around.
Well, at the moment, we're hoping for a title.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. I really hope. I'm hoping it comes as it wraps. I know I'm completely off tangent. This has probably already been discussed way before.
No.
Obviously, when Episode 7 wrapped filming, the original Lucasfilm tweet was Star Wars The Force Awakens wrapped filming today. It was just done like that. It was never like, here's the Episode 8 was.
It was a cool way of doing it, though.
It was just smart. And I remember there was this person commenting and said, "What's the title?" Because they hadn't realised that that was the reveal.
It was in there, yeah.
And I really hope they do it again. That would be really cool for them to do. So fingers crossed. But I really hope they don't do an end game and just do it with the trailer, because Star Wars deserves more. Star Wars, a title. You know, if someone dropped the title of Episode 4 of Avengers, that's not really a big deal because it's really Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah,
I still call it that. People, so as great as it is, there wasn't really much of a name going for it. Star Wars is bigger than that. Star Wars has got that will get the internet on meltdown. That's why everyone spoke about that title for months.
And it's Episode 9. It's the closing out the Skywalker saga. People are waiting for this, and I think we will get a title before Celebration. But in my heart of hearts, I don't think we'll get a trailer until you're at Celebration.
That's exactly what I think as well.
Yeah, no, I think title will come on wrap. Celebration will be trailer. With a Celebration, we're looking at Episode 9 trailer. You're talking Mandalorian trailer, Clone Wars trailer, and probably Resistance Season 2 trailer.
And the Fallen Jedi game, Fallen Order.
Yes.
Fallen Order, yep.
There's been rumors in the news this week about the HBO guys.
TV Weiss and David Benioff.
Yeah. I mean, Game of Thrones starts the weekend of Star Wars Celebration. Will Brien Johnson make a quick appearance? There's so much can happen, and then you've got to think, what about all the stuff they haven't revealed? What about what's going to be the breaking reveal at that one? There's so much going for it. It's going to be a big week, and you can see why it's 5 days now in length compared to the usual 3.
It's going to be amazing that George will be there, but on here, Phill and I will be on most nights. I would have thought as it closes out after each panel to talk that up as well.
Yeah,
and
I
George,
will
be some
be
lovely voicemails that we can post up as well.
Yeah, I will be glued to my screen. I'll be getting everything written down, getting these podcasts prepared and stuff. I will be working my tail off. Unfortunately, I will have the time to do so, so I will crack on and do so. Make sure we have everything coordinated as such. But yes, we might as well, though, continuing with the autograph thing, going on to our first bit of news, which is Alden Ehrenreich has signed an exclusive autograph agreement with Authentic Signings, which is kind of a big deal, actually. He's signed an exclusive deal with Nick Casado of Authentic Signings Incorporated and Harlan J. Warner of Sports Placement Service. Granted both companies exclusive rights to create memorabilia from Solo a Star Wars Story that he will personally sign within this coming year. So the fans deserve authentic signatures. At Ehrenreich, these in-person signings will help prevent counterfeit items from entering the collectibles arena, which are at present at most conventions. It is very interesting, though, considering most of them are with Topps, and a lot of them go with, Reed Pop as well. So I'm not having him there.
I was very shocked by this. If you look at how Rogue One went, straight after this, Orlando Celebration, they seem to have most of the Rogue One cast there. And you think Alden, he's the leading role. You'd have thought this would be built into his original contract when he signed on to play. But clearly nothing, which I think was very amazing. I think we don't know the full story, whether they make a deal and be like, you know what, he can sign under you, blah, blah, blah. But I was very shocked they announced this. And just before the Celebration news as well, whether there's a bit of politics going on with an agent, with some signing companies, because Topps, they aren't the cheapest, especially their convention prices. I mean, I've just bought my Ian McDermott one. That's a $100 autograph. That's about, what, £80-90?
Yeah.
When I met him in London a couple of years ago, unfortunately, before I started my Star Wars 3 poster, he was £65. I mean, I get the whole, it's a premium they're signing at Celebration. The cheapest Celebration autograph's $50, and Reed Pop aren't cheap. They are expensive when they do their autographs, and maybe Alden got paid a bit more. Maybe this other company can afford to have him doing cheaper, selling him doing more. But I love stuff like this, and you got to think sometimes the principles of it. That I just got myself an Adam Driver autograph in person. You go on Star Wars Authentics, they're like £330.
Yeah,
and you kind of like Adam Driver, like you want to meet him. You who wants to pay that just for him, especially when he's so young, when he's going to do so much. £330, and you can only get it at StarWars.com. There's so much competition in this autograph world, but it makes why. I mean, I get a kick out of meeting them as well.
Yeah,
getting Alden, it's such a weird one. And to be fair, the price they've got him selling at $180 on his first batch of autographs, that's not bad. However, he's only going to sign his name. He's not going to put his character name, which is a bit strange compared to usual, but very interesting.
Yeah, well, you do want to think. Sorry, go on, Dave.
No, I was going to say, Authentics normally will give you an option for just an autograph, or they'll give you an option for personalization as well. I know they've done that previously when people put on, so you can get your name signed on there as well. For it just to be, just sign this. So he's obviously going to sit in a room, getting videoed as he fires through as many of these as he can. But it's a bit of a shame that he's not personalizing them as well. I think a lot of people would have preferred to buy them if he was just putting even just your name, just a Dave, Phill, just signed next to his name.
Yeah,
would make all the difference.
Well, I remember when Harrison Ford got announced, I actually worked out there's going to be £100 a letter for my name just for personal. Well, for Harrison Ford, it's that's kind of worth it at the same time. That's a very expensive. It better be written in gold, literal gold for that price. But you do wonder, though, if Reed Pop will get him on a commission basis or if there'll be a premium. There'll be something built in, so if he does do a Celebration, it'll come at a cost.
If It's very interesting, and especially now we're getting a batch of people a week, just like 2 years ago in Orlando. So I think it'll be very interesting to see what does happen with him, because there's really been the biggest name so far, I guess, is Jason Isaacs and Ian McDermott. And in all respects, as much as I love Jason Isaacs, he's more famous for his other franchises more so than Star Wars.
Well, yeah, also got Peter Mayhew as well, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, especially with his with what happened last year with the surgery. So I think he's signed
exactly for him to travel is a big deal. It's gonna be key. We'll get onto that. I do actually have the full list of signers later on in the schedule, so we will come on to that in a bit. Actually, I might as well skip forward. I'll bring that up right now just so I know we've done that. So, sorry, excuse me a second. So we have Ashley Eckstein coming. She's a veteran. She's done it quite a few times. I would like to meet her at some point, I must admit. We also have Daniel Logan. We have Jet Lucas. We have Ken Leung. You have Katie Cartwheel. You have John Ratzenberger. You also got Ian McDermott, Peter Mayhew, Donald Faison, Jason Isaacs, Vanessa Marshall, Minor Vallejo, you got Michael Pennington, Tom Kane, Catherine Tabor, D. Bradley Baker, and Tamara Morrison. Of course, we've already mentioned Tamara Morrison and Ian McDermott previously. Donald Faison I would love to meet purely because I was a huge fan of Scrubs. He's Turk, so I'd love to meet him for that reason. But yes, still a hell of a lot of guests they got now.
And more interesting, they haven't actually announced Ashley Eckstein's autograph prize. So the batch, they've said not everyone's going to go on sale online on the pre-sale. So the only two that were missing was McDermott and Ashley Eckstein. McDermott's price got put on today. So whether they're still negotiating with the others who's going to be signing, who's going to be doing what, but McDermott's signing all 5 days. So it's going to be very interesting.
Indeed. But Tamara Morrison, people is kind of the odd ones I'd like to meet just because they don't do it often. So yeah, I approve of your picks so far. I know you'll get a few more. I would again love to meet Whitworth. That's the one I'm like. I've been messaging Dave going, George going, please, if I give you Makey, please get me Whitworth. I really want his. I really want balls.
He's doing all 5 days. I mean, he seems really nice. It's just so frustrating when they don't sign in England. I mean, that's the way it goes, doesn't it?
Well, the thing is, I've got my Mall Black series signed by Ray Park. I really actually want to meet Whitworth to have them both together. That probably won't happen, but we'll see. Anyway, might as well crack on. More news. So we've had Taika Waititi speaking out about briefly about the Mandalorian. Of course, he's directing the very first episode. So we don't know if he's doing any more than just the first episode, but we know he's one of the directors of the show. So of course, this is the show that's coming to the Disney Plus streaming service later in the year, roughly October time. He just spoke about the tone of it, which I think is fantastic. What he said. So Star Wars is very different to the Marvel style, which is what he's talking at a TCA panel for what we're doing the Shadows TV series, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the trailer for that, go watch it. It looks hilarious. The film itself, what we're doing in the Shadows, is brilliant. They know that the tone of the first films really should be kind of adhered to. That's what the fans like, and you can't really disrespect that. And I guess it's a nice way of saying you can't put too many jokes in it. There's a bit, definitely my tones in there, and the dialogue and stuff like that. But it's a good way of looking at it, though. He's respecting the fan base, respecting the universe without kind of without messing with it, but putting his kind of his little nod in there. And of course, he's also talking a bit about the character himself, the lone gunfighter. So for most kids growing up with these films, Boba Fett was one of the most favorite characters, even though he's barely in the films. Just the idea of bounty hunters, the helmets are so cool. Getting to see the characters like that and getting to shoot them is pretty cool. And again, talking on Favreau, saying Favreau's a genius and so smart and so good at what he does and creating these worlds. The scripts are really great. It's really fun doing something in Star Wars universe. It's every kid's dream just to see a stormtrooper. When you're doing scenes with 50 or 60 of them, it's pretty amazing. I loved it. 50 or 60 stormtroopers in the Outer Rim at the end of the Empire. This is going to be killer. I mean, it already sounds pretty wicked.
I'm wondering if Disney kidnapped him yet.
Maybe.
I can't wait when that comes. I'm assuming that, again, to give explanation, that the Mandalorian, surely it's going to get a panel. You know, I assume it will be a trailer and maybe like a release date, which is what I would expect.
On the first day of celebration is the Disney investors meeting, and they are previewing both the streaming service and some of the content.
That's very interesting. Now, I can't wait. I love Taika Waititi. I love Ragnarok. I love What We Do in the Shadows. I haven't seen all of his other films, but he's a director that, you know, without another Star Wars Marvel comparison, you know, Marvel recruited him knowing he's not the typical action director. He hasn't had that budget. Star Wars going back saying, well, look at what he did with Thor. He made it very different. Maybe he wants to try a different style. Maybe he's doing his own thing. But I'm very excited by who they've been getting for the Mandalorian. They're certainly in an era people criticize Lucasfilm for keep getting rid of directors. In this one, they've gone for, I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard directorial debut. Got a directorial debut of, bloody hell, I forgot his name. I feel like an absolute idiot.
Dave Filoni?
Yeah, Filoni. I don't know how I forgot that.
How should you give Dave Filoni? Goddammit! No,
I don't know. It was literally said a couple of seconds ago. And then we've also got Taika doing a Star Wars. And these aren't the typical go-tos. And I think what it gives Disney a window to do is, while going for the safer choices of directors for films, you can take a risk on TV where they've only got an hour at a time and more.
Well, you say going for safe choice in films, they've had to go back to JJ because they screwed
which is
up
good.
with.
I mean, we all know that, you know, I didn't want Colin Trevorrow to direct episode 9.
No,
you didn't want him to. No one wanted him to.
No one wanted him to.
It just got to the point where, you know, we were just waiting for that next. We were just waiting for him to get sacked, and it happened. Yeah. And JJ was the right choice. I definitely agree with that. I love Ryan Johnson.
He can finish it. He can tie up some of what Ryan's mess.
I loved Ryan Johnson. Yeah, I do very much like The Last Jedi. It's been a while since I've actually probably spoke about that. I still enjoy it as a Star Wars film. I think now I've had the time of window that I've had between from when 7 to 8 came out, and obviously a year now it's post episode 8. The time to think, not about the internet, just everything. And I think JJ is the not safer, but the best choice for 9, purely because he started this trilogy. And Ryan gets his own opportunity with his new trilogy, which I'm intrigued for, because he's clearly a guy that's got bright, different ideas, which is what they need to go forwards with.
Yeah, he's got great ideas for the Star Wars universe, but it wasn't probably best suited for the mid part of a trilogy.
No, precisely. I'd imagine if Ryan had like episode 7, it would have been very different. Again, it's whoever gets that first choice is really setting the story for what's going to follow.
Indeed. Again, cracking through the news again. It's going to be quite a short show this evening, guys. Again, I've got to respect the fact that these guys are running off their own data. We might as well skip through this one very quickly in case you're interested. At Star Wars Celebration, there is a podcast stage. We are not on it this year, sadly, but when it's in Europe, we will do our best to get on that. In case you're wondering who's there, it's just a bunch of people. Honest to God, support the platform. You've got Beyond the Outer Rim, the Cantina Cast, Coffee with Kenobi, Fangirls Going Rogue, Fanta Tracks. You've got the forecast from the Back to Tank, Galactic War Report, Get Your Geek On, Lords of the Sith, Them Return of the Pods, Rogue Podron. There's a whole bunch on StarWars.com. Go look it up. That'll give you the full listing. But of course, don't forget to come back to the original, the OG, What is the Force of Star Wars podcast. And that is correct, that one's with the Force of Star Wars podcast. Not the phony that is out there pretending to be us, which is not us.
We don't talk about them.
No.
It gets me angry.
Gets us all angry, mate.
It's it's lovely to have a podcast stage. I know there'll be other people out there doing their own thing, doing their own thing out there, and it's great that so many of these podcasts. There's some really good ones on there. I'm a big fan of both Beyond That Room. Coffee with Kenobi is really good as well. So some really excellent podcasts that are going to be there, and just to see them in a room and go see them live doing their thing is great. And hopefully one day that would be lovely to be part of. But it's good for these guys to be getting out there, and especially because they're all in Chicago as well. It's going to be an excellent experience, I think, for a lot of them.
It is indeed, yeah.
I'm intrigued to see what comes next, and I don't know when Europe comes around. Fingers crossed we can all get to that one. That's something we're going to want to do together.
Anyway, so we're going to move on to the next story on here. I think we've there's not a lot to say. We are going to fly through, and it's not going to be a very, very long episode at all. But hey, so we are still talking about the prop store and the Return of the Jedi producer auction. Prop Store has announced its first toy and collectible auction to be held as a live auction on Thursday, February the 28th, and Friday, March the 1st, 2019. auction includes some really rare items for Return of the Jedi. The producer have got massive high quality production toys, production items, international collectibles, store displays, marketing materials, bootlegs, posters, press kits. If it was related to the Return of the Jedi, it seems that they've got this and going to be auctioning things off. And Prop Store have some really good items. They were at Celebration when we were there, and they have things like storyboards, and you didn't see so much that they bring that was in the actual movies. And I think if you're going to buy from anybody, Prop Store will be someone to keep a lookout on their auctions.
Yeah, Prop Store, you're also getting 100% authentic, real deal items. So you'll pay your premium, but you'll get guaranteed authentic items. And that's crew items, press items, that's collectibles, it's everything. But yeah, this is their very first collectibles auction they're doing. And some of them, expected to sell for over 30 grand. So 700 lots, which on the 2-day auction from February 28th and March 1st. So many of them coming for auction for the first time. So highlight sale is an unopened Star Wars early bird kit from Kenner. So it's that kind of weird sealed box that's got nothing in it, but it's still worth a lot of money. It's like you're buying a bag of crisps, but it's a very expensive bag of crisps. You just know you're getting air. That's just what it is.
I mean, that's like a grail piece to vintage collectors, and I can imagine that fetching an absolute fortune.
Indeed.
Just imagine having the money the guys that do it do.
Oh.
Like, could you imagine?
I'd just be buying so much stuff. Literally, there'd be no.
What do you mean, would, Dave? You do it anyway.
Secretly. Do it secretly.
Yes, so the wife doesn't know. Yes. No, we all do it. We just collect what we can and what we can afford. And when I'm there, I twist your arm and make you spend much more than you planned on doing.
Just one of those things, I guess. Apparently, I have no idea what's going on in George's house, but someone's having a great time.
They are indeed.
For the audio that you're getting cheering going. There must be a match going on, is there, or something? I don't know. But anyway, we'll crack on. George will talk when he can.
Yeah, so continuing on, that's the highlight sales on is the unopened early bird kit. Kit includes a Luke Skywalker action figure, which with a rare and special lightsaber extends twice on the figure's arm, expected to sell between 8 and 10 grand, which is just insane. Other highly desirable items in the auction are a graded French Boba Fett figure produced by Meccano, which has a low guide price between 25 and 30 grand. I cannot produce first release Jawa action figure with a vinyl cape that's again 12 to 16 grand. These are all in dollars, so slightly cheaper in pounds. And then you got the Yak Face Kenner, which is between 8 and 10 grand. I mean, my God.
It's incredible, some of these prices for the original. I mean, I've got about 50 of the original figures, not in box, not them in mint condition. I mean, some good condition, but not anywhere close to fetching those kind of prices. And even now, trying to buy them, it gets ridiculously high prices that you're trying to match. So yeah, it's tough going. But I mean, some of these pieces, if you had them in your collection, like I said just before, these are your grail pieces. That Yak Face, the Power of the Force figure, is well known in the last 17 figures, and it was going for, I think it was £1.59 when they used to sell. Finally, when they were selling out big stickers, £1.59 on them, and now look what they're going for. Oh, I blame my parents for letting me open boxes when I was a child.
Yeah, well, that's why we rebuy them as adults, knowing our mistakes. It's fine. We have toys that we played with, we love, and then we pass those down, and then we have Daddy's collection, which is all sealed that people can't touch.
Yeah, behind glass.
Yes, quite literally. It's like all mine are in my cabinet, so they are behind glass.
Yeah.
Indeed, though. I mean, sorry, George. Yes.
Sorry, guys. There's issues at the house. So no, I think with the canister, it's going to be interesting. I like when it gets to like prop store stuff. I'm so curious as to what sells for what price, because you get some that blow people out of the water. You get some which like you'd be shocked. Some that don't sell. So I'm always intrigued to see what happens, and I'm going to keep my eyes on the famous Christmas one first. I think that's going to fetch the most. Then again, I guess a lot of collectors probably have already managed to get one somehow. There's going to be like the mega rare ones, which I think people are going to be fighting for.
Well, it's the fact that they've got the French Boba Fett that's going to be like $25,000 to $30,000. I mean, it's French. Why would you pay that much for French?
I know. People have got more money than sense. But again, half these might be just like George Lucas just sat at home just typing in.
That'd be awesome.
What if George Devin's gone, running a bit low on my billions, I'm just going to sign something and put it online. There you go, that'll pay for the holiday.
Definitely.
Oh,
have we lost Dave? No, we've got Dave back.
Sorry, just my data running out, so I've tried my flashmate net, so we'll see how long that lasts.
That's fine. We'll just try and crack through it as quickly as we can. So another bit of stories we reported on the ATST that was popped up on the A38 here in the UK. So reporting of a 15-foot tall ATST turned up inside the A38 near Ashburn in Devon, which for those of you who are from a wider field, that is the West Country. So it's our little version of the Rednecks out here. It's a fantastic little place. Actually do quite like the West Country. But anyway, Cambridge Council has now granted the owner Paul Parker consent for it to remain up for the next 10 years. So it's a life-size replica of the Imperial Scout Walker. It's been saved by a scrap heap. It's 4.5 meters, so 15 foot tall. So the A38, but they asked them to remove, but then given it planning permission now and secured for the next 10 years. So it's pretty awesome. So so thanks to everyone's helped and given support. The creator said took him 400 hours to make the replica, which is quite a long ass time. The ATST first featured in the second installment of the trilogy in the Battle of Hoth. Of course, it's remembered for being in Jedi, where it got crushed between two logs by Ewoks. However, it's still pretty cool that someone's managed to build one.
Oh, definitely. I think it's great. I like the little stories. I said a guy's just gone up and just done it, but the fact he's been able to get that planning permission, I think that always helps out. So I kind of want to go. I wouldn't go out of my way to go find it, but could you imagine driving a road and you just see it there? It'd be both terrifying and beautiful.
It would be an awesome thing to just be passing by and think, oh, there it is. But I would probably, you know what, if I was out and about in the country somewhere and I could get Devon's quite a distance, you're talking like 6-7 hours, but I would quite like to visit that.
Just like a road trip, just to look at it. Yeah. There's 3 seconds as you drive past.
I'm just up to get some milk, love, and then
comes back the next day. Where were you? Well,
see these pictures of me at the ATST?
Yeah, I just quickly popped down Devon, got myself some cider, kind of saw an ATST, you know. Just how it works, it's fine. I mean, we're a little bit more out of the way for you, Dave, than anyone else. I mean, if you did it, we'd be very much surprised.
That's all right.
Those of you, again, who are from... Yeah, well, that's a bit of a road trip. For those of you who are from further afield, Dave is from a small, scummy place up north between Newcastle and Sunderland. And it's a good 7-8 hours down to Devon to go see the ATST. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could do it as a holiday, maybe. Just suggest to the wife, hey, we can go down to the West Country, enjoy ourselves. We've just got to go down the A38. No particular reason why, just got to go down it.
When I say love, that's totally the opposite of what you would think.
It's the, I only put up with you, right? That's the conversation you'll be having.
Yeah, just about.
However, moving swiftly on, so that is actually the end of the regular news. We're on to Toy Shelf now. It really is going fast this evening. So we've had the Spring Fair, so it's the trade show following the UK Toy Fair, so it's kind of it's trade only. There's no public allowed. No real new kind of things announced, but we might as well go through them as quick as we can. So it's the UK's #1 trade show for sourcing products for home and gift retail, held every February at the NEC in Birmingham. The trade only show, not open to public, showcases products from over 2,500 companies. The show runs from the 3rd of February to the 7th, over 20 halls. So there is some of the Toy Fair with companies like Asmodee, Funko, Hornby, Loungefly, Star Images, Winning Moves, and others exhibiting at both shows with show less than 2 weeks apart. There's not normally any new products, but we'll go through it. There's nothing new for episode 9, but we didn't expect there to be. So you got Paladone showing off their recent Star Wars products alongside new releases, including for 2019, including mugs, glasses, a Millennium Falcon composable lamp, which actually does look quite cool. Half Moon Bay has got a plethora of products on show at the fair as well. The products include a wide range of homeware, kitchenware, bags, notebooks, and more, with designs featuring Vader, Stormtroopers, R2-D2, BB-8, Leia, and more. Royal Salingo, probably butchered the name there, showing off some of their more products, including a floating land speeder, arriving made for it's only a small fraction of a cost of £500, or £499.99 for those of you who want to save a bit of money. Other new products include a photo frame, Darth Vader keyring, Chewbacca statue, and C-3PO statue as well. They look really cool, but they're all quite heavy, being made of pewter, so they're good quality. Diffuse had numerous licensed products on display, including a nice section of adult Star Wars t-shirts. That's adult size, not adult themed there. And you've got a nice selection of hoodies, tops, caps, and bags. Groovy UK had an eclectic mix of Star Wars products on display, including an updated version of their popular dressing gowns, lights, projectors, and some new products, including a Porg dressing gown, matching slippers. And that's all going to be available later in the year. Exhibiting for the first time at Spring Fair were Exquisite Gaming, EXG, and they brought with them their cable guides and meta merch mugs in 2D and sculpted 3D. So you got more from them later in the year. And finally, Funko revealed a new wave of pop figures based on Return of the Jedi early in the year. So there's nothing new for them except in their homeware items from Loungefly. And yeah, that's it. That's all the news from the Toy Fair. So there's a lot of new things coming out. Again, most of it was revealed at the Toy Fair the week couple weeks before that. However, it's all good. That's pretty cool stuff in there.
I think we're obviously going to get held back in a lot of stuff with 9 being as far away as it is, where I don't think they're going to make the track. Hopefully they won't make the same mistakes in the getting the information out they have previously, where they've just mistimed very slightly the merch releases. And I just think they need to get that much closer to episode 9. So while we're getting a lot of homeware and things like that, there's going to be a lot held off for 9.
Indeed. I mean, even Disney themselves had their quarterly report recently, which I had the great pleasure of listening into in case it got something.
That's not what you said about it.
Yeah, my God, was it dull. However, they were reporting losses for the first quarter because there was no Star Wars film in December. And it does prove they really did pick the wrong time to put Solo out.
Yeah, we've talked about it numerous times of how they should have pushed that back to December. It came out too close to episode 8 and the Star Wars film that quickly. It really should have held off, and I think they would have done one much better at the box office, and I mean by a country mile better at the box office. And their merchandise, I think, wouldn't have stalled as much either.
Indeed, they made a very poor choice, very poor marketing choice. I mean, Bob Iger even admits that himself as well. They really messed up there. Unfortunately, we have lost George due to an issue at his house. We don't know if he'll be joining us for the rest of the show. However, if he doesn't, thanks for joining, George, and we'll have him back on the show in 2 weeks' time. If he does rejoin, then fantastic. He's just doing his usual being absent. It's fine. That's it for Toy Shelf. Moving on to Star Wars, we've had an announcement from publishers to do with The Queen's Shadow. The audiobook of the novel is going to be narrated by Catherine Tabor. For those of you who don't know who Catherine Tabor is, she actually did the voice of Padme in Clone Wars. Yeah. So we're getting the proper voice actor back. So it's like Ashley Eckstein doing when she did Ahsoka. We're having Catherine Tabor doing Padme. I can't wait for this. So we got the report saying we've learned that actress Catherine Tabor, who provided the amazing voice work for Padme Amidala in the Clone Wars animated TV series, will be narrating the audiobook version of author E.K. Johnston's upcoming novel, Star Wars Queen's Shadow, the 400-page novel, which was first announced at the Lucasfilm Publishing Panel SDCC last year, scheduled to be released on the 5th of March by Disney Publishing and can be pre-ordered on their website currently. The little blurb is Padme Amidala served Naboo well as his queen, but now she's ready to begin a new chapter in her life. The newly elected queen asks Padme to serve Naboo in a new capacity as its senator. With the help of her devoted handmaidens, Padme must figure out how to navigate the treacherous waters of politics and forge a new identity beyond the Queen's shadow. I generally can't wait for this book. I think it's going to be fantastic.
I mean, for it being, is this another young adult book? Is it?
No, full novel.
Oh, full novel. Okay, cool. Now, because I mean, the Ahsoka novel that came out was apparently supposed to be a young adult novel, but it's a really, really good read. And
Yeah,
I
and
would
you
recommend
spoiled
the
part of it
Ahsoka
for me
book.
when I hadn't read it, so thanks for that.
Yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, it's a
I've
pretty
nearly
great
finished
read
it,
if you get a
actually.
chance. And I've also listened to the audiobook, and it's really nice to have these actors who are well known with the roles to be
Reprising
doing
their
the
roles.
audio to reprise that. It really helps you stay in the world with the book as well. I think it really, really does. Like sometimes you get guys who are reading the books and doing female voices and it doesn't quite sit right and play in your ear, especially if you're just sitting trying to listen to an audio book. But to get like Ashley to do one and to get Catherine Tabor, I think is a really, really good get. And I actually probably, to be honest, I probably won't read the book, but I probably will listen to the audiobook with her doing it.
Bloodlines is actually really good as an audio. So's Lords of the I don't get me wrong, I love reading. I do love the books, but the audios just are fantastic,
Yeah.
depending on who does them. Again, another bit of news we have in Star Wars. So Galaxy's Edge books are coming. So earlier this month, Lucasfilm announced a new Marvel comic miniseries based around the upcoming Star Wars Galaxy's Edge theme park attractions, which we reported on in our last episode. Today, StarWars.com has been updated with news that more Galaxy's Edge themed literature will be coming down the line, including a novel titled Star Wars Black Spire from author Delilah Dawson, set in time period before the events that take place in the theme park, scheduled to be released on September the 3rd. So, brief synopsis is in this novel, a prequel to Disney Parks Experience, General Leia Organa dispatches her top spy to Batuu in desperate search for Resistance allies. So it's going to be quite into the interactive experiences. So you've got the Rise of Resistance ride, which will be linked into that. Also, the reveal of 4 new Galaxy's Edge young adult titles that will be landing in August, as well as an official release date, April 24th, for the first issues of the Marvel comic miniseries, mentioned as in our previous episode. A synopsis for the series was provided as well. So, Black Spire Outpost has long been frequented by smugglers, merchants, and travelers from every corner of the galaxy looking to make their score on the infamous black market, or experience the exotic thrills the remote world of Batuu alone has to offer. Aliens like the infamous Doc Ondar, who is an Athorian who you'll meet in the comic, a proprietor of rare and one-of-a-kind antiques, thrive on unique opportunities which around the Law's outpost at the very edge of wild space. And it's all new miniseries from Marvel. Writer Ethan Sachs of Man Hawkeye and artist Will Sliney, who did Solo, the adaptation. So yes, you'll be meeting Doc Ondar. You'll be meeting a whole bunch of new characters, a whole cast that you'll be meeting around the park. But it's just kind of cool to see them tying everything together and really going in and putting the effort in to make that experience as immersive as it can be.
I love how they're making this park canon. I really do. And I think it's a really wise move as well, that you're not just in a theme park, you're in a world that you will, by the time you get there, you've probably read about or seen stories of, and it's going to all link in. I know we've seen already in early episodes of Resistance where we saw a photograph of, I can't remember the guy's name, not the lead guy.
Hondo Ohnaka.
Is that the guy who's, I can't remember his name, I'm sorry. The guy who went to the garage that they work in.
Not quite sure what you get out there, Dave.
That's okay. Anyway, but yeah, we have seen Resistance. We have seen photographs, which has something in the background.
Oh, you mean Yeager?
Yes, that's exactly what
Jarek
I mean.
Yeager. Yes.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I was confused for a second. Yes.
Picture of his family, and then they're actually on back here. You can see from the background of that photo, that's exactly where he's either from or he was living at some time. So it's already been sort of leaked in.
The effort into ingrain it. So compared to some of the Disney world where it's all kind of they make you step into the world, this is trying to make you believe that you are in the Star Wars world. Lucasfilm are really putting the effort in to make it so when you are there, you are experiencing Star Wars. You are living it. You're living part of the canon. You are being embedded into the threads, the story itself. And I think that's fantastic. I think they're doing a cracking job at it.
It's makes, especially people who are very deep into the canon, who want to be there even more.
Indeed, not just for us nostalgic people who want to go on a Falcon and cry like man babies that we are. But yeah, that'll happen a lot. They'll have to have people sign there with Star Wars branded tissues for everyone, I guarantee it. The kids just because they're hot and the adults because they say they're hot, but they're really not. It's just the way it's going to be. So I'm not crying, you're crying. It's just will be uttered far too many times. And then, of course, yes, for those of us like myself who are heavily into the canon, reading the books and everything else, it's just going to be that added layer of awesomeness to it. And that's it for Star Wars. Just actually happy I had news to report on Star Wars this week. We're going to go on to games. So EA, what can we say about EA? They reported massive losses this quarter, and frankly, I don't blame them because, well, look what they're doing to all their franchises. However, they've revealed the February community calendar for Star Wars Battlefront 2 by the official Twitter account. So you've got new for Titan mode, you've got new vehicles coming, you've got new heroes coming. We've got Anakin, who is the most expensive character they've ever created for the game, and is again a debacle of how they're going about doing things. You've got the Night Ops event, you've got more vehicles coming as well, as I said, and that's all coming by the 27th of February, so everything will be out by the end of the month. And also then, after much speculation, cancelled games and missteps, EA have confirmed yesterday that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order arrive later this fall, so it's going to be in October, but no one really knows exactly what it is. So it's going to be a third-person single-player game, other than it's set after the event of Revenge of the Sith. It disclosed the full deadline is in its quarterly earnings announcement yesterday. I'm looking forward to that game, but with it being EA, I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, it's a tough one. You're right. I think that the Full Order game, I think, is something that speaks to me, and I do really, it excites me to play it. But the fact that EA bringing it out has a real disadvantage to it. So it's you want to play it, but I mean, EA have kind of announced they're keeping the license as well. I think it was in the Disney.
Disney said that EA have done a good job and they're sticking with licensing it. I'm just like, are you kidding me? I put that in the chat and, oh my god, are they actually doing this?
Bob Iger apparently does not listen to this podcast.
No, Bob Iger does not listen to this podcast, but Bob Iger should listen to this podcast. He really should.
Yes, he should, as you all should. Thank you for listening.
Indeed. In fact, you had Imperial Academy on our little chat this way and saying, hello there. Sorry, didn't see that sooner, but yes, hello there, Imperial Academy. Thank you for joining us. But yes, so Imperial Academy listens to it. Maybe the Imperial Academy can tell Bob Iger. It's just the way this is. But no, Bob Iger will never listen to this podcast, although he should. We do pump out great content, and he should pay us. We should be part of the Star Wars brand. We just know this should be fact. We are canon. Yeah, we will talk to Pablo Hidalgo. We'll make sure that we're canon. If they can make a theme park canon, they can make a podcast canon. All right. Sorry, just before we go on that, they had the Star Wars show come up. Unfortunately, though, we've had no new news. They've just got an excerpt from Master and Apprentice and just looking at the Quacky Monkey list. So no, nothing special on the Star Wars show this week. So our breaking news cycle, unfortunately, is nothing new. Doesn't surprise me, but nothing to see here.
I think it's
banking on that title.
So much till the title comes out. Yeah, it's kind of that's the next big piece of news. And obviously, what was it? Wrapping Friday? We've said this Friday the film all wraps.
No one knows exactly where it's wrapping.
I know the guy who plays R2-D2 posted up that he'd finished.
Oh, Brian Herring has finished on episode 8. Yes.
Yeah,
episode 9. Sorry. Yes, he does BB-8.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, the guy who plays R2-D2 as well.
I
can't remember his name.
Jimmy.
Jimmy V.
Jimmy V. That's it. Yes.
He posted up as well that he has finished his R2-D2's done now for the film as well. So now the characters are starting to kind of announce they're finishing. I would have thought it would be very, very soon that we'll get a wrap.
Well, John Boyega and Daisy Ridley have been appearing more and more on social media and stuff, so you can almost guarantee it is coming to a close. Yeah. But it will be coming to close fairly soon, but we don't know when. But we just want the title, damn it. Come on, Star Wars, listen to us. You know what we want. However, so that is the end of all of our news for this evening. So we're going to go into the Resistance recap. Resistance Rewind this week. We've got 2 episodes. So we've got the First Order Occupation and the New Trooper, both of which are fantastic. So we'll crack on with the First Order Occupation. Dave, you can pretend you've seen these.
I will.
if you want to mute yourself so you don't hear what I'm about to say, you're more than welcome to.
No, you go for it. I will listen. I'll enjoy listening, hearing what goes on.
Indeed, it's going to be. Yeah, so George is also apologising. His 4G's gone off. He's not going to be able to join us again. But thank you so much, George, for being able to come back on the show. He'll be back on hopefully more regularly from now on. And it's just fantastic to have us all back and not be absent and be my running joke. You're taking away my running joke, George. You're taking away my running joke. How dare you do that? Anyway, so talk about Resistance Rewind. So this week on Star Wars Resistance and the First Order occupation, Sonara discovers that the First Order is locking down the station as they search for a spy. The stormtroopers try to arrest an innocent man who can't provide his identification, but Kaz and Niku distract him until he finds his ID. Kaz wants to tell Poe about what's happening at the Colossus, but Yiga forbids it, saying it'd be too risky for Kaz to be found out as a spy. The First Order could too easily intercept such a message, so he needs to wait until he hears from Poe to report his findings. Stormtroopers arrive to interrogate Kaz, and he and Yiga play dumb. They say they're also looking for Sonara and head out. Kaz follows Sonara to warn her, and she has a meeting with her boss Kragan, who says, find a way at the station before he can pick her up. Kaz catches up with Sonara and tries to subtly tell he knows she's a spy by using a very bad food metaphor, which is actually quite funny, and that the First Order is after her. So he puts her in a container, pushes her on a cart with Sonara inside, smuggling her towards a cargo transport. He tells Sonara that regardless of her being a spy, he knows she's a good person. He instructs BB-8 to override the vehicle security protocols, which the droid does. However, the alarm system is triggered. So when Sonara jumps out, however, they are Kaz is spotted by the stormtroopers who pursue him and BB-8. Sonara sees this and knocks the troopers out and tells Kaz to come with her to go back to the ships. However, when they get there, the ships have departed. They go back to Yiga's shop and ask Niku for help. He tells them that there are underwater escape pods they can use. While they head for the pods, Niku and BB-8 distract the troops. Sonara thanks Kaz for the first time, just he puts in one of the pods, sending her to safety. It's the last pod, so that will be key coming up. She sends Kragan, her boss, to coordinate to her location, and they do manage to pick her up. Back at Yiga's shop, Tam wonders why Sonara would be uncomfortable with the First Order around, remarking they're just protecting the platform. Niku arrives back exhausted and passes out, and they pick up Sonara and leave. So the First Order really starting to crack down, of course, now. In the last episode, in Doz's Dilemma, he agreed to let them have a presence there. I mean, the episode opens with a TIE fighter rocking in. They say it's the fifth one this week. Their patrols are stepping up, and it's getting pretty serious.
I do like how, when you've talked about this, that we're getting this side of Imperial First Order occupation from a point of view from regular people as well, not
we are
people who
indeed
are fighting it.
Yeah, I'm going to get onto that in a big way in episode 16, The New Trooper.
Oh, cool.
So, no, trust me, you're going to like this. So, in episode 16, The New Trooper, Commander Pyre, who, by the way, is pretty badass. I prefer Pyre over Phasma any day of the week, as well as Vonreg as well. Much prefer them over Phasma. That's a different story entirely. So, Commander Pyre and the First Order arrive on the platform to find out who's helped Sonara escape. Doja reminds Pyre that he's still in command, and Pyre feebly agrees. Meanwhile, Kel and Elia, which are the children we saw Kaz help earlier in the series, are fishing.
Oh, cool.
As a group of stormtroopers walk past, one of them stops to apprehend the kids, but they manage to knock him out. Back at Yiga's shop, Kaz and the team Tam are at odds with regards to the extra protection offered by the First Order, and Yiga equates them to the Empire. And Tam takes offense that her grandfather used to work for the Emperor to put food on the table. The argument is interrupted by an arriving Kel and Elia, who ask Kaz to come help with them. Niku and Tam tag along with Bucket and BB-8. The latter being horrified at the sight of the indisposed trooper. Kaz and Niku lift the trooper, and the group goes to a less conspicuous location, so down to the lower decks, down to the giant tortoises. I can't remember the name of the species off the top of my head. Kaz decided to impersonate the stormtrooper, taking on his transmitter and heading to their base. He's roped into a confrontation with a group of protesters who want the First Order off their platform. So they are properly rioting, they're throwing fruit, they're throwing veg. It's quite, they can see that they're not exactly happy with the First Order's presence. Rather stick around and fight, Kaz slips away so he can get some information about the First Order's plans. Meanwhile, Tam laments being sucked into this conflict, as she has no problem with the First Order. Alaya observes it's strange for Tam to trust the organization over her own friends. She asks why the First Order is after them. And Alaya tells them the First Order killed everyone on their planet. Their chat is brought to an abrupt end when the trooper awakes, but Niku knocks him out. Kaz tries and ultimately succeeds in obtaining a data file, so a data rod from First Order droid, which it looks like BB-9E, but we know it's not. But the troopers arrive and tell him to come and see Commander Pyre. In Doze's office, Pyre asks him why he's left the Empire years ago, and Doze replies that he came down to a personal decision that Pyre wouldn't understand. The troops ride, and Pyre tells Doze to leave his own office so that he can meet with his troops. Kaz is compromised, but as he flees, the troopers surrounded by the protesters. Just before that, you do find out that they actually have got an entire garrison armed and ready to land on the platform. So the full occupation is coming. Yeah. They track him. They track the suit and ultimately find the real soldier back in his armor. They manage to kind of put him all back together. And they send him for recondition. I mean, proper. They're talking about when Kaz is there. They're saying, no, you're acting up. Your programming's off. Be reconditioned. Scrub his brain. They are really going in depth into this whole the backstory from Aftermath. I can't remember the name of the operation off the top of my head. And what you see in Battlefront 2 and what you see in episode 7 when Finn's talking about his own personal experience, how they're taken reconditioned. So they're really delving into that. Kaz's friend head home and he debriefs Diego and his findings. The First Order wants to seize the Colossus as a refueling station for their fleet because he brings up a map that there's so many red dots and they're like, why? What are these red dots? You know, well, they could be First Order ships. You know, that's more ships than the Republic Navy has. It's scary how much the First Order is coming into it and how much they are now kind of being brought into the show, and you can really see how the events of episode 7 are taking shape. So the show, I equated this to you earlier, Dave, before we went on air, how the show at first was like the first half of season 1 of Rebels, very Disney, very family friendly, very lighthearted, but as the series progressed, it got darker and darker, and towards the end of season 1, you had Vader come in, and it kind of got it started to get darker, and especially when the Inquisitor kind of let himself be killed because he'd rather face death than face anything else. Yeah. Well, the First Order are now coming, and they're coming hard, and you know what happens. You've seen episode 7. You know the all the dynantium they've been mining, all of the explosives, everything they've done, the mining tools to crack open and make the weapon on Starkiller Base. You know what happens next, but the fact that it happens next, they're just showing it, and it's getting darker and darker, and it's getting really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, I love that the synopsis of that episode sounds great, and it's literally that I mentioned just before that we were seeing it from people's perspective who are actually fans of the First Order and what they're doing, and see them as a really good option for security. So I'm actually really intrigued to go and watch these episodes. But to be honest, I think I might, as soon as we finish here, get those last 4 episodes that I haven't seen and binge through those.
I would do it. It's starting to get to the point now where the story is very much overtaken the style.
Yeah.
The style, you'll either love it or hate it. I actually quite like it now. Now that I've watched the series full, I'm enjoying it as a different style. Sure. Clone Wars was one style, Rebels was another, and Resistance is a third. And it's just a different ways of doing it, and you know the money's being put into Clone Wars, but it doesn't mean the show has any less quality. It's just different.
Yeah.
But the story, though, the story is what counts. And my God, are they adding background for episode 7 and 8?
I love it. I'm really intrigued to catch up. I say those last 2
I
episodes
highly recommend it.
really,
For those of you out there who are still wondering about the show, give it a watch. Just give it a watch. Give it a chance. Even if you wait until the season 1 Blu-ray comes out and you borrow it off a friend, you know, just watch it. Give it a chance, because I guarantee you'll like it. It's one of those shows that the writing has come good. The first half is full of fillers and character settings, but now the characters are getting developed, and now the story is getting good. They've laid the groundwork, and now they're progressing it towards the events of episode 7, and we know from the trailer that it goes past the events of episode 7.
Yeah.
So finding what's going to happen is going to be very key. And, you know, you talk about, you know, Leia, General Organa was talking about allies in the Outer Rim. Who knows how it's going to be connected? And you know that we've already had Beatty come back to reprise his role as Lando in Rebels. It's not a stretch of the imagination to imagine that he could be in season 2 of Resistance and coming in then to help them in episode 9. But I'm just putting it out there. This show is good.
Good. Good stop, sir.
It is good. You know what? Actually, we haven't put a Cantina talk in, but I'm going to put a Cantina talk in this evening. I didn't have a chance to do one. I finished the schedule about 40 minutes before the show went on air. It's just been a very, very hectic day for me. It's just, unfortunately, it's just what happens in life. Dave, later this year, we have The Mandalorian coming. We have The Clone Wars coming. We have Season 2 of Resistance coming. We'll have Cassian Andor coming.
Yes.
The TV world of Star Wars is becoming clustered, but in a very good way. They're spreading out the timeline-wise. You get to one. Which one are you excited to see and why?
That's an excellent question. And it's really hard because I'm split between two. That being the Clone Wars and the Cassian Andor show. Oh, but the Mandalorians. All right. I've got to pick one. Right now, if I had to pick one and I couldn't see any of the others, still for me, the Clone Wars is edging it just because of how much I love that show. I have actually been recently catching up. I've started watching the episodes again from episode 1 and just going through them all. Just when I've got a bit any sort of free time, which is not much at the minute. So I've only got about 4 episodes in. But watching that and knowing that we're going to get a continuation of this one season of 12 episodes and going back to those characters, I can't wait for George to get a celebration and send me a message saying there's just been a Clone Wars trailer. It'll be obviously online and we'll talk about it. And I can't.
No. You know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be there's a trailer for the public. We watched episode 1.
I don't want to hear that bit. I only want to hear that.
Yeah, you know that's what's coming, though. You know that's what's coming. For me,
there will be. He will see an episode. But for me, still, right now, don't get us wrong, I am hyped for The Mandalorian.
You see, I'm the flip side. I'm hyped for the Clone Wars beyond belief, but I'm really more intrigued to see because the Clone Wars is a known factor. We've seen it, we know it, we love it. The Mandalorian's new and shiny, and it's a live-action TV show that we've never had before. It's Star Wars going into a new direction, and that's what gets me excited.
It's the TV world of Star Wars is going to be amazing, and whereas we had the movies where we thought, it's oversaturation, because we're in so many different platforms of television that's not all live action, it's not all animation. They're different styles, they're different things, telling different stories about different eras. Just rocks my world that we're going to be in this amazing world. I'll be the first day one as soon as they say Disney Plus app is available to purchase now. I will be a subscriber to that service because I will not miss any of this content.
Indeed, and they did actually report that they're going to be cheaper than Netflix. So bye-bye my Netflix account. Hello, my Disney Plus account.
Yeah, I'm not. Netflix are going to lose a lot with this Disney Plus. They're going to lose all the Marvel stuff. They're losing all of the Star.
Except that they have confirmed they're doing Jessica Jones season 3.
Have they? I didn't see that.
This was in the. It's one of the things listening to that phone call. Is what you got. They said they've confirmed season 3 for Netflix.
Oh, okay. So that'll probably. I would think that'll be the last one they'll do, though.
Unless they do Defender season 2, but I don't know if they're doing that or not. But either way,
I can't see it with them letting Luke Cage and
Iron Fist and Daredevil and all of them go. Yeah, the only one's Punisher. And that's the most bad.
Punisher finished now. He's done season 2. That's him.
To be fair, though, I have to admit, I kind of want Punisher, the Mandalorian, to be the Punisher in the Star Wars universe. That's what I want.
I am intrigued by what role this Mandalorian is going to play, and I'm sure once we get the first episode, we'll get a full. Even when we get a trailer for it, we'll get a full idea. We will do an
in-depth review of that. You can guarantee it. You've heard it here first. We will do something awesome.
Oh, you will be sick of hearing from us when these things launch. Just say celebration weekend. Yes, George will be there. I'm sure he'll leave us some voicemails.
It's giving us, I would say, employment, but it's giving us free content for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get some things in order. Phil and I will be on board for every panel. We'll have something out, even if it's a quick video, like 10, 15 minutes. We'll talk about what's going on for the day. We did for last celebration. It was awesome. We pumped through
9 videos in 4 days.
Yeah, Phil was on every one of those.
Yep.
Few missed. I mean, crazy hours in the morning. Phil rocked through all of those. So we'll certainly be around.
And I'll be doing it again. I can guarantee you that. I mean, the energy drinks and coffee will be flying, but I will get through it all. I guarantee you that. And that is it for this evening's show. We'll try and keep it as short as we can for Dave. We've about an hour, so we've done pretty well. Actually, managed to stretch it. But yes, Dave, any final thoughts?
Just want to say, well, one first, a massive thank you for George for getting on. Obviously, he has issues with his 4G and noisy people in his house that he lives with at the minute. And he is going to be moving home, so we'll hopefully have him on a lot more often. We'll get a full squad back, which will be awesome. A big thank you to everyone who's liking, subscribing, watching. Please, if you've got people who like Star Wars, bring them on board. We'd love to have a few more people on. Also, if you do have interest in the games that Phill plays, the tabletop games, Phill, do you want to just give your channel a mention?
I'll happily do that. So yes, actually, thanks again to the shout out we had last time. So the channel itself has rocketed well over 100 subscribers in a matter of weeks. Actually, streaming this Friday, we'll be doing another live broadcast. So yes, Firestorm Squadron, the Firecast. We play Star Wars X-Wing miniatures. We play that every other Friday. So the same week I'm doing this show, you'll see me streaming on the Friday for that. So I will be putting links on our social media at some point as well. I haven't done that yet, but I will do. But yes, again, join me on Friday for that. But also join us in 2 weeks' time for another episode of Wonders of the Force of Star Wars podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On all our social medias, you can always find us. Don't forget to leave a comment. We will always happily reply. You can find the audio version of this show hopefully tomorrow or later this evening on Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. We've been Wonders of the Force. May the Force be with you. Good night.